I'm Virginia Lindsay of Gingercake Patterns and Design, and today I want to show you how I made this cute organizer. It's a roll-up organizer. My girls are going to camp next week, and they have to have a big shared bathroom, and so I wanted them to have something to take in the bathroom that would be like a good place to keep all their stuff, and so it won't get too dirty. Now I know that it's not going to stay this way, but I'm hoping it might for at least a couple days. So here's what it looks like all open, and then you just roll it up from one side and close it. You wrap this around and close it and tie it in a nice tight knot, and doesn't come out. I'm so excited about this. And there's this fun little puzzle to work out, and it's really easy and doesn't require too much fabric, and I hope you'll follow along. Let's make it.
Okay, here's the one that I already made, and you can see I have it all flattened out here, and what's cool about this project is all these different pockets. On the lower level I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pockets. And on the middle one, I have 4 pockets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the upper one, I have 3 pockets. So I'm going to show you this fun way to make that. It's kind of like this cool little puzzle. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the pocket pieces, and we're going to make lines on them to show how to sew them. And we're going to mark 4 lines on the bottom one. So the way you're going to do that is you're going to press this piece in half, and all these measurements are down below in the description. So this is the bottom pocket, this pocket right here. So you're going to press it in half lengthwise so that it's 15 inches by 3.5 inches. And then you're going to mark every 3 inches, you're going to make a mark. And I'm using this little chalk pen. So I marked at the 3, at the 6, at the 9, and at the 12, and then I made lines with my straight edge going down. So I already did this previously to save time on the video. So you need to do that, and then go ahead and mark the lines here on the middle pocket, which this pocket was it's actually the same exact size as the interior and the exterior piece, which is 10 by 15. So the folded in half, it's 5 by 15. So, and then I make the marks right here. I want to split this into 4. So the way I did it was I pressed it like this, or I could just finger pressed it. I knew this was the center. And then I went in. So I have the center crease, this here. So it gives me a crease right there. And then one right here. It gives me another crease. And then I just use my my chalk pen here, and I just drew these lines in to mark for myself. And then the final pocket is the big pocket, and this one is 14 inches by 15 inches, and you fold it in half, so it's a 7 by 14 piece. And I just wanted 3 dividers here. So all I did to make these was mark it every 5 inches. So 5 I put a mark, 10 I put a mark, and then I drew down, and then I lined it up with my plexiglass ruler. So there's a link to that in the descriptions too. And then another one right here. So that way I have all my pockets marked, and then I can begin the sewing together. Now I have my pocket pieces sitting right here next to my sewing machine and laid out nice and flat, all lined up like I wanted to. There's no pins yet because I'm going to be moving things around a lot. So we're going to start from the center and go towards the left. And so the first thing I need to sew is this center piece right here on the pink layer. So I'm going to take that one off, and I don't want to sew all the way through onto this layer, the lining, because then that'll mess up this pocket. You know, I'm going to have a pocket right there. So right now I'm just doing these 2 pieces together. And at my sewing machine, I'm going to sew straight down the center there. Okay, and then I'm going to line it up again and see where I have to go next. Now you can use this technique to make aprons, all sorts of different things to kind of have fun with it. Okay, so the next one over from the center is this piece right here. Now again, I don't want to sew through this and into that, so I'm going to pick these two up and move this piece over to the side like that. Okay, and then I'm just sewing through these two layers. Okay, so 2 pockets sewn, and we're still going. Now the next one over is actually back here on the yellow. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to make sure everything is lined up. Keep checking that because that's important. I'm going to move these two over like this and keep these two together and sew down this line. So just take your time and keep watching, going from the center out. Okay, so now I have this sewn, and this sewn. And my next one to sew is this pink one right here. So I have to flip that away. I get the full line exposed, and I don't want to get onto that yet. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to sew right here on this line. Okay, it's coming together. So the last one on this side I need to sew is this piece right here. And so you can guess what I'm going to do. I'm going to push those over to the side. Make sure these are lined up nicely and just sew through these 2 layers. Now, I'm just telling you, it's possible that you might mess up the first time you do this, and it's not that big of a deal to get your seam ripper out and fix it and go back. And then again, if you feel frustrated, just make yourself, lines like that. And you can make them all one line, so then the pocket is all the same size. But I think it rolls a little better with these varying sizes. So now I have this whole side done, and I'm going to switch over to the other side here. So the first one I'm going to begin with is I'm going to sew this, by doing the exact same thing, flipping that way and then folding it back and seeing where the next line is, which is here. So then I flip those away and just sew that line. It's the same method. I also wanted to point out right here this little bit of selvage that I have on my piece. I don't mind having a little selvage in there. I think it adds kind of a cute little flair, and my piece was a little short, so it's for my own daughter, and I just kept it in there, and I think it looks cute. So that's why that's there, in case you were wondering. Okay, so now I'm going to finish sewing this, and I'm going to then baste the pockets on around here after I'm done finished sewing this side of the pockets, and then we're going to go back and finish up the project. Okay, while we were gone, I clipped all my threads. I basted down the sides. I gave it another press. And then I also went ahead and fused the fleece, the fusible fleece, to the backing of the exterior. So I did all that while we were gone. And now it is time to make the ribbons, or the ties. Now, you can easily use real ribbon, and that would be nice. I would suggest if you used like a gross grain ribbon, maybe do like a 1-inch ribbon or a 3/4 inch ribbon, and then use this product called fray check. Cut it at the angle and then use fray check so that it doesn't fray. Okay, I would cut like 2 15-inch ribbons about. So to make them out of fabric, These are 15, or they might be 17. And they're 2 inches by 15 or so. And we're just going to we're going to sew them in half, right sides together, like this. And then I'm going to sew along this edge. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sew in, and then I'm going to turn the corner and sew down about 2 inches to right here. I'm going to back stitch. I'm going to leave an opening of about 1 inch. And then I'm going to back stitch again, and I'm going to sew all the way down to make my tube. And what this does is this makes a real nice closed little ending to your fabric ribbon here. And I'll show you how that works. Okay, so here I sewed, I have an opening right here, but I sewed down and then all the way down like I said I was going to do. And you want to clip this corner and this corner, and then turn this piece right side out. And I can't find my trusty tube turner that I've shown you in all my other videos. So what I'm going to do instead is just use the chopstick method to turn this inside out. And then we're just going to this is just a simple chopstick. I asked the Chinese restaurant to give me some extras. I use them for tons of things in sewing. Okay, so you're like, oh no, your chopstick or your tube turner is stuck down here at the bottom. Well, while you're in here, go ahead and press out those corners and then push it down a little, and you just come out right through that opening we made. Okay, and then take it and kind of push this under. And you can hand sew this closed or top stitch it closed. And then you're going to press this whole piece flat. Okay, so do that with the other one also, and then we'll have our, we're going to be able to put everything all together in the next step. Okay, here we have the piece. I've basted the sides, I clipped all the threads, and I pinned the 2 strap pieces on at a little bit of an angle on this one side. I did it just right in the middle of the side, so it's 10 inches, and I measured at 5 and pinned them on like this. And the next thing I do is just take this top piece, and I'm going to make a little right sides together here, tuck these in, and then I'm going to just pin the pieces together like this and this right here. So all of my corners, and then I'll probably put a few more pins in like here and here and here. But the important thing I wanted to show you is this is where we're going to leave an opening right up here in this top corner. Okay, so I might even make it a little bit bigger than that. So I'm going to start sewing about right here. So this way, and then down and around and up and back here and stop. So I sewed all around the perimeter and left an opening right here. And then you need to clip the corners. I sewed it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, or 3/8 is fine too, whatever your foot on your machine is going with. And then I'm going to clip these corners and turn it inside out. So I turned it inside out, and I used the chopstick to poke out the corners, and then I pressed it nice and flat, really flat. I spent a little time doing that to get it nice and flat. And the final step I did, actually 2 final steps, the opening here, I used my Steam-A-Seam light to, and I put that between the 2 layers, and I close that up. You can also hand stitch that closed with a little ladder stitch, or you can just actually leave it open, and then when you do this top stitch all the way around the whole perimeter, you'll close it up that way. So this is the finished product. And then you just can fill it with your stuff. So you have your deodorant, you have the hairbrush, you have, excuse me while I'm reaching over, toothpaste, you get it. All the stuff I have down here to fill it in for my daughters. Actually, they're going to fill it in themselves because they're 12 and 14 years old. So I'm not going to be packing for them. But they, I think this will be nice for them to take to camp and to use also for other times that we travel. I think it's a great travel tool to have for any time when we go on trips down to see my parents or whatever. So there you have it, and then you just fold it up and tie it closed. You can either kind of double it over like this. I think you do want to get it kind of tight so that things don't fall out. And I think it's so cute and easy and washable. So I'm really excited about that. You know, probably that's too small to do a bow. But I think it's going to be fun. I hope you get to make one. Let me know if you have any questions. And I look forward to hearing from you. Talk soon.